guys, Work here. We're out on the range today to be talking about a couple of guns. It's a comparison that I get asked about an awful lot. That is the CZ P07 versus the P10c. Let's get to work. Hey guys, Work here. Welcome back. So today we're going to be doing a quick little look at the CZ P10c versus the CZ P07. These are both CZ's polymer-sized compact guns. And I get a lot of questions about the comparability between the two because people want to go with the CZ, but they don't know if they want to go hammer-fired with the P07 or striker-fired. So I want to kind of cover some of what you're looking at with these two guns today. Now, I do want to preface, both of these guns are modified. The P07 here is fully Cajunized with its trigger group, and the P10c here has a theta trigger at dot, a Norso slide on top. I don't keep guns stock, but the recoil mechanism of both of these guns is the same, and we're going to be talking about the difference between the hammer-fired versus the striker-fired shots. First up, let's talk about the P07 here. Now, I do have two magazines here with extended 5-round extensions from Shield on here, and these magazines do work in both guns. As long as you get the right magazines, they will work in both. The magazines for the P07 here have a notch on the side. The magazines for the P01 have a notch either in the front or a secondary notch on the side. Don't ask me why they couldn't just combine that and make them the exact same magazine. It's CZ, we don't ask questions with that stuff. But we've got 15 rounds here. Let's go ahead and decock this because this is the configuration that you would be carrying this gun in, is typically decocked. Now, being an Omega trigger, the P07 here does have the ability to be run with either a decocker, as you see here, or a safety. I personally prefer the decocker. That drops the cock down to about a quarter cock. Quarter cock. And it gives you that long double action first pull with subsequent single action follow-ups. Now you can, as I said, go with the safety. That's going to give you that single action shot from the very beginning, but it does also require that you sweep off the safety before you can fire. Let's take some shots through the P07 here, then we'll talk a little bit about it. So the P07 being a polymer frame gun, you're going to get a lot of the same polymer frame benefits, such as a lighter weight gun. Being a CZ hammer gun, you're also going to get that inside the frame rail slide, which makes the slide smaller, reducing that reciprocating mass and decreasing a little bit of your felt recoil. So you're going to get pretty good recoil manipulation with this compared to other guns in the same compact size. Now this version does also have the threaded barrel and the suppressor height sights on it. Not something that I'm overly fond of. CZ doesn't have great stock sights anyway, but the P07 also doesn't have that many great sight options. It does have sight options from one of my preferred sight companies, Night Vision, so you can get rid of these and get something a little bit better. But again, with the P07, you're gonna run into that long double action first pull, and then you're gonna have that subsequent single action pull. Now I do want to mention really quick, at this point I've got 8 rounds left in here, 1 in the tube, that is 9, so I've taken 11 shots at the target, and that is what my target looks like. And I'm shooting from about 10 yards out, and I'm not paying that much attention to accuracy. I typically don't when I'm doing these, when I'm just showing you guys a little bit of how these things shoot. Just to give you an idea of how overly accurate CZ just in general is. So let's go ahead and finish off the magazine with the P07, and then we'll jump over to the P10. Now the controls, really quick before we swap over, the controls on the P07, we got our decocker right here, pretty easy to get to. We've got our mag release here, also easy to get to. We got our slide release way up here that my child-sized hands can't reach. There we go. So the controls might take a little bit of getting used to. Now let's jump over to the P10c. So the P10c is a significantly more traditional style defensive handgun. We got the standard rail configuration, which gives you a relatively normal slide size. We've got a striker-fired trigger, polymer frame, and when you're talking about the stuff with the P10c and necessarily how it was done better per se, the list is not extremely long as how it was done better, but it was done at least equal in a lot of different places. Personally, for me, I actually like the ergonomics of the CZ a little bit more than something like a Glock and even the P07. So the P07's ergonomics in my mind aren't as good as the P10c's, but it's not going to be that way with all shooters. The P07 here has a significantly longer length of pull. You can see the distance between the trigger and the backstrap is significantly further than the distance between the trigger and the backstrap on the P10c. For me, that's great. I've got medium to small hands, so it fits my hand perfectly. For bigger shooters with bigger hands, you're not going to enjoy it as much. And unlike Glock, CZ does not include backstraps that run up the back beaver tail area, increasing that length of pull. That's something that I think that they need to do. Let's go ahead and take a couple of shots through the P10 here, using again that same 15 round stock magazine with the +5 extension from Shield. Then we'll talk a little bit about how the P10 shoots. So the P10 feels a lot more traditional in its recoil. It feels a lot more like you would say a Glock would feel, because the reciprocating mass is extremely similar. That being said, to me, it's actually a little bit more controllable than a Glock because of the ergonomics and their excellent frame texturing. The texturing on the P10 it's rather harsh, but it's harsh in a good way. There are a lot of people that think it's a little bit too much. Personally, I don't think that. I actually like a grippier texturing. What matters isn't really that you're shooting 500 rounds without being a little bit sore on your hand. What matters is for that 10 rounds, if it pops out of your hand or not. The P10 is really good at that. The P07 grip stippling, not nearly as good as the P10. It's missing a lot of it on the side panels, and the backstrap is not so great either. Let's take some more shots through the P10 here, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. Okay, and accuracy with the P10 here. I did shift back a little bit, but not much. So here's our 13 round group with the P10, but you kind of get the point. Okay, so we had to move back here into the shade. The camera was not liking the sun out there. But as I was saying, as far as controllability, the P10 here going to feel a lot more Glockish, but depends on the ergonomics and the grip texturing that you like. The P07, a little less felt recoil, but not as good of a grip to be able to get your hand onto and hold onto. Really quick, the controls, not going to go over the trigger at all, but the magazine release, very similar to the P07, easy to get to. And unlike the P07, the slide stop, super easy to get to. I can't do that on a P07, not that easily anyway. So I just wanted to give you guys this rundown of the P07 versus the P10 to be able to show you guys a little bit about what it's like shooting the two guns, the differences and maybe the similarities between them. They're both excellent options. Personally, I carry the P10c every day, and I actually sold my P07. This one's just in my possession for holster making. The stock sight options on the P10 here are better than the P07. It comes with night sights, blacked out rears, but they're still not great sights. They also have upgrades from night vision for the P10. The P10, you're going to get better accessory options. The P07, you're definitely going to get a little bit more unique factor there. But really, what does unique factor mean as long as you can shoot them well? If you can shoot them equally, it's kind of a crapshoot. But really, it's whichever one you shoot better with that you need to carry. We've talked about this before, where when you carry, your optimal setup is the setup that allows you to shoot the best. For a long time, I actually jumped off of CZ because I shot a Glock better, till I learned myself how to shoot a CZ better. Then I could shoot them equally and I could jump back over. But it's whatever you shoot best with is what you should use. So if you can, find somebody you know that has the guns, go to a range, figure out a way to shoot the guns to really find out which one you want, but they are both excellent options. So thanks guys for watching. I hope this kind of clears up the P07 versus P10c a little bit. If it did and it helped you out, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see more comparisons like this, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Remember guys, I appreciate every one of you, and until next time, do your research, get informed, and get to work.